Let's move on to today's stories. The National Petroleum Authority has directed oil marketing companies to reintroduce stabilization and recovery levy on products. Now, documents cited by Joy Business show that when introduced, petrol would see or would attract 12 pesos on a litre and diesel 10 pesos. We have more in the following Business Desk report.
We understand that this directive is expected to impact on the various price reviews by most of the oil marketing companies this week. Prices at the pump should have gone down by more than 5 to 8% for all the various products from today, based on the calculations by Joy Business. This would have made it one of the biggest reductions in recent times. However, based on the adjustments done by major players like Goil, Shell and Total, prices are going down by just about 8%. This should mean that a litre of diesel and petrol are now going for 5 cedis, 19 pesos, translating into 23 cedis, 33 pesos per gallon. Some of these oil firms have told Joy Business that if it had not been this levy, they could have gone down by more than 1%. According to the Energy Sector Act, the Stabilization and Recovery Levy is used as a major source of subsidizing the various products, especially for premixed fuel and residual fuel. However, some industry players have raised concerns about this levy following full deregulation of prices of petroleum products and whether these levies should still be applied on the price build-up. There have been several calls for these taxes on the petroleum products to be reviewed. One can count about 10 items on the price build-up, made up of taxes, levies and margins.
As the latest directive by the National Petroleum Authority, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber, Duncan Amma, spoke earlier on the marketplace today. Let's listen to him.
I think that the NPA has been very unfair to Ghanaians. The government directive should not have come at this time. I think that it would have been in the interest of the NPA itself and the government to ensure that fuel prices at least do come to a certain affordable limit for all of us. When it comes to increases, you would not realize that the stations are in a hurry to spare Ghanaians. When we are supposed to get reductions, that is when you find all these kinds of games creeping up. We think that the NPA has not treated all of us any fairly. The government could definitely do without the Stabilization and Recovery Levy Fund, which I speak. I do not think that the government has any right to even collect those funds, because in a deregulated market where the government is not stabilizing anything, you wonder why the government will continue charging those monies. I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the week or later in the course of the month, COPEC decides to take this government to court for playing with the stabilization levy. Times gone past, Ghana used to even hold strategic stocks through BOS, a situation that we had used all along to control fuel prices. From what you and I know currently, there is no such strategic stock available to the country. There is no such measure or mitigation from government such that the government itself is even putting in any remedial measures when prices are going up at the local pump. And so it becomes quite reticent to think that the same government will continue to charge you and I 10 to 12 pesos per litre.
All right, that was the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana speaking earlier on the marketplace with Emmanuel Abuajiri. If we will still stay in the oil and gas sector, some different news to report. An incident offshore Tuesday, Tullow Ghana has released a statement. It says it is aware of a man overboard incident offshore at the FPSO Kwame Nkrumah at 14:25 hours on Tuesday, 18 June 2019. It says the individual involved is a subcontractor and that full emergency response procedures were activated and that the contractor was rescued at 14:33 hours and there was no injury following medical assessment. Tullow and MODEC Ghana have contacted all relevant authorities. Tullow is also assuring the safety and security of all labor force offshore and onshore are of utmost priority to it. The company says it continues to observe key safety measures. Now, government has hinted of its plans to introduce a specialized bond to aid in the funding of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Now, speaking to Joy Business at the launch of the Impact Invest in Ghana, an initiative to mobilize capital for achieving social impact, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta said the fresh bond could be introduced next year.
Is that the SDG goals itself for 2030, there's a feeling that globally we are kind of falling behind. And I think a good part of it is because of the inability to identify appropriate capital to be able to support the things that we want to do. What have we done in Ghana? As you know, the president is a eminent co-chair for that. What we did at the Ministry of Finance, the government, is to sort of change the chart of accounts to link it to the SDG goals, so that at the press of a button you'll be able to know how much MMDAs have spent on the SDG. You know, we were able to raise some 3 billion on the Eurobond market. We need to specifically go out there to get some funds targeted at like climate change and things like that. So we lead that. So I'm excited about the future, and particularly if we put some effort behind impact investing, because it's about $500 billion worth of impact investing money in the international market. Since we started last year, I've been chairing the interim board to make sure, you know, we've come to this day, and then we'll move on to join the main impact investment society. So that's the first big step. And once we do that, I think likely next year we'll come out of a bond of some sort to support that.
All right, now to Kumasi, where the leadership of the Ghanaian traders at Swami Magazine, with the help of the police, have restored calm at the enclave. Earlier, some of the traders closed their shops, of the Nigerian counterparts, and destroyed some of their wares in the process. Now, chairman of the Spare Parts Dealers Association in Kumasi, Godfred Edu, has been speaking with Prince Apia.
Yeah, they can come back. We can give them time for them to work, because now you can know the situation on the ground. Many people are angry, and you know, I'm only one, and the leaders, we are just few, and we can't guarantee their safety. For us, they should give us for some time. For us to talk to our members, we know it's sometimes we have many people who understand easily, and people to do some difficult. But it all would be a situation that we are trying to control. So there is nothing that it is our flip or hand that we can control. Everything is under control. We try to control the situation. We try to manage the situation and the pressure on the ground now. Because as now, our leaders, many of our people are on the table with the Nigerians. Then I'm supposed to come on the ground to calm the situation down. So for now, as you may know the ground, will be a witness. The heat is too much. You may see how the way I'm sweating. From one end to another end, from New Road to Anamanye to the Bloom Hotel, and all is about 2 or 3 people doing that work. So for now, they should give us a little time for us to resolve the situation, let the pressure come down so that they can come.
Well, the Ministry of Trade and Industry has been speaking about the very chaotic situation we've seen in the last couple of days, describing the attacks on foreign retailers in Kumasi as unfortunate. Now, speaking to Joy Business, Deputy Trade Minister Carlos Ahenkwa called on all parties to exercise restraint to allow government handle the situation.
Government is not in favor, let me say, of any actions that would unleash forceful ejection or put our brothers in the sub-region or traders, investors in Ghana in any jeopardy. It is just unfortunate that people would alienate other people just because of happenings and occurrences in the country. And I'd like to take advantage of this opportunity of this situation to let our countrymen understand that they should exercise restraint and let us separate this situation from what has become an albatross around our neck that we're all trying to find solutions to. Yes, we know that there's been some kidnappings in the country. Nobody is happy about it. We have tried very hard to find a way around the security situation in terms of trying to solve these problems. There are challenges which I'm sure the security agencies are up to, but it does not mean that everybody who is a foreigner on our soil is involved in this kind of exercise or in this kind of atrocity. By so saying, I am appealing to traders and of course market people to allow government and by extension the Ministry of Trade find a lasting solution to these problems. We believe that the trading business, which of course have been hijacked as a matter of fact by some of our brothers, our colleagues in the sub-region, and therefore putting our own traders or own countrymen at a disadvantage, is not a problem that we can run away from. Unfortunately, in the ECOWAS protocol, there's a non-discrimination clause which we cannot separate ourselves from.
Well, still on this issue, indigenous beverage manufacturing company Casapreco is making a passionate appeal to government to settle the disagreement between Ghanaian traders and their Nigerian counterparts. According to the company, the issue, if not resolved, could go a long way to affect its branch in Nigeria. Managing Director of the company, Richard Ejay, spoke to Joy Business at the commissioning of the company's new 400-kilowatt solar energy plant located at this Spintex Road bottling facility. Bismarck Awusa has more.
Recently, about 20 retail shops belonging to Nigerian traders were shut down by their Ghanaian counterparts who vowed to evict foreigners from the retail space. This move, according to them, is to compel authorities to implement laws concerning retail trading in the country. Casapreco Company Limited fears the dispute, if not resolved, could have a toll on its subsidiary in neighboring Nigeria. Richard Ejay is Managing Director of Casapreco Company Limited.
Certainly, I think we all know what is going on between the US and China with their trade wars. So if Ghana and Nigeria is also going to follow these trade wars, it will certainly affect our product if it escalates, and we hope that it doesn't. For us, we are not, I'll say that we cannot do much, but we just have to keep encouraging the government agencies to do their portion to encourage trade between the two countries, and not even just between the two countries, the West African countries as a whole. And I know there are some plans in place to even look at doing an African-wide trade policy. We would certainly continue to encourage that.
The 400-kilowatt solar plant will supply 3.5% power generation outside the national grid annually to support the needs of a bottling facility and help to displace power supplied by diesel generators at the height of a day. Mr. J is hopeful prices of its products could reduce in the near future by this project.
For us, going solar, certainly has said, looking at reducing our manufacturing costs in the medium to long term. And as our cost reduces, certainly we look to pass that savings to the consumers. So we are looking in the long term to have some of the most competitive price in the market for our products.
The solar plant installation is Ghana's first power purchasing agreement financed solar plant for a commercial customer. The West Africa Managing Director of Yingli Namin Suppliers of a Plant, Fermin Ingasam, says his outfit seeks to make solar plant acquisition affordable.
The target of this company, Yingli Namin, this joint venture was actually to make solar available, accessible to people in Africa. All of us know solar is cheap, solar energy is cheap, but achieving solar is a high upfront cost. As the technical director just said, it was an opportunity to have solar with no upfront payment. So this is a very long story, how to make solar available.
The beverage company is currently saving about 20% operational costs by the help of a new plant. Bismarck Awosas reports for Joy Business.
You're watching Business Live. Now, people enter into business for many reasons, but Kwame Owusu-Kwarteng started his business, Chroma Digital Solutions, because he was disrespected. The printing firm he owns is only 4 years in the business, but has left its clients with lasting impressions. Chroma Digital Solutions is our feature this week on the Joy Business Van.
My name is Kwame Owusu-Kwarteng. I'm CEO of Chroma Digital Solutions, and welcome to my press. I used to draw as a kid. I was attracted to things with color, things that bordered on creativity, and so growing up, print became a passion, since it was all related in the same sphere of things.
Kwame didn't think about having his own printing press until this unpleasant experience.
I worked with a few print businesses, and then one day I woke up one morning and told myself that I had served people well and that it was time to serve myself. So I started my own business, which was basically print marketing. What we do is, we go around to companies, individuals, organizations, get the jobs, and because I didn't have any equipment then, I would go to an existing printing press, I would get the job done, deliver the job, put a commission on it, and then that was it. But one day, I went to a printing press to do my job, and I was disrespected. They had become so big that they had forgotten that it was us, the same customers who propped them up to that state. And so I felt very heartbroken. And then I stood there and I remember telling them that one day I will start this kind of business.
And he did 4 years ago, starting Chroma Digital Solutions, providing a wide range of branding solutions and printing services for individuals and businesses.
We're into printing, branding, and labeling. Printing, the commercial printing, that's your books, your business cards, your office stationery, educational stationery, and everything in between. We also do packaging, that's labeling, precise labeling. That's product labeling, industrial labeling, pharmaceutical labeling, and all that. We're also into branding, that's with signages, with office branding, making sure that your brand is put out there. On the average, we do like 180 different orders a day, ranging from corporate folders, envelopes, product labels, business folders, and anything in between. We've worked for countless number of companies, some being Aker Energy, Bosch, Petroleum Commission, ENI, Trasaco, and so many of them.
It's not been smooth sailing, Kwame admits. He's had to make huge investments in the business and competition is tight.
When I started working in print, when I was working for other companies, the industry wasn't as dynamic as today. The use of technology wasn't on the scale that it is today. Today the industry is very different. People are moving away from the conventional way of printing that's offset into a digital era, so there's been a lot of change.
And it's also required that Kwame builds capacity. His business is part of many that have benefited from the Professional Print Excellence Program, a partnership between non-profit organization Invest in Africa and imaging solutions leader Canon.
Through the Invest in Africa APP platform, Chroma was invited to the Canon training program where they assisted us with color management in relations to offset and digital printing, make ready and pre-press, international best practices as far as the print industry was concerned, and soft managerial skills, and we are currently also trying to take advantage of their access to credit initiatives. The future is looking bright. Chroma basically started as a small copy center. which has evolved into a professional digital printing press. We are currently opening another outlet at Tema, which should be open in not more than 2 months. We're looking at 3 other locations nationwide. We're currently getting jobs from outside Ghana in the sub-region. So we're also looking at going regional. For us at Chroma, it's unlimited opportunities.
Alrighty, you can always catch a replay of the Joy Business Van on YouTube. Before we go, the 3rd edition of the China Trade Week is opening in Accra. We've got eyes on that. At the opening ceremony, the Minister of Business Development hinted that the Chinese model of equipping young entrepreneurs with needed skills to compete on a global scale would be adopted. Mohammed Awal says government is setting aside 50 million cedis for the training of 12,000 young entrepreneurs ahead of the full implementation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement. And there's more news on our website, joybusinessnews.com. We've got the day's latest over there. You can always check that out. And that'll be it for Business Live tonight. My name is Darryl Carl. Thanks for watching. We are back same time tomorrow.